Next on Belmont Park Live Mentality, showed at 7 furlongs. It's right up her alley. Now she'll try and put together back-to-back wins for the first time in her career in the Kupakoi's Joy. The 8th, a marathon on the turf with plenty of proven veterans. Chad Brown sends out a formidable duo, including Call Provision coming out of Grade 1 Company. And Therapist burst onto the scene with 3 straight wins to start his career. He'll try and keep his perfect record at Belmont Park intact in the spectacular bid division of the New York Stallion Stakes Series. It is all coming up next on this Sunday edition of Belmont Park Live, presented by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. Beautiful day out here in Elmont, New York at Big Sandy as we get set to close out the week with some very good races coming up, including the starts of the Naira Bets Late Pick 5 sequence. Greg Wolf alongside former New York Met, LA Dodger, Paul LaDuca, Andy Serling from the New York Racing Association. Here to handicap, we'll get to Maggie Wolfendale and her paddock reports in just a few moments. Therapist returning to sprinting, in which he has never lost, and he's never lost here at Belmont either, but stuck all the way out on the outside.
Yeah, he gets a bad post position, and it's a wide open group. And to me, I think there's many that you can use in there. Now, he is the horse to beat in there, Andy, but with that post, there's some vulnerability.
I'm not concerned about the post, to be honest with you. We saw a horse win a sprint at 6 furlongs from the outside post at 6 furlongs. And the Widener turf course, those post positions aren't as big a hindrance. He's just better than these horses. If he shows up with his best race, and he was ranked last time, that actually worries me more than anything else.
Christophe Clement, said, I'm going to have to talk it with my owner after we drew post 13. He wasn't sure he was going to go in this race. He doesn't like being stuck outside. But again, yeah, this horse has proven he is the best in the field.
Well, the other part of this now, though, you do get 3 scratches, so he does draw in, 3 slots.
Two.
So he's only got
Right. 2?
Good
3? It's a third?
Two
scratches.
Post
I'm sorry. Yeah. So he comes in a couple posts, which will help. Yeah.
Today's races, race 6 begins. This Naira Bets Late Pick 5 sequence, 6 furlongs. Main track coming up. Race 7. That is the Kupakoi's Joy division, the New York Stallion Stakes Series. 8th race. Allowance optional claimer, and that is that marathon on the inner turf, mile and 3/8. All that coming up on the show ahead. Weather and track conditions brought to you by Piranha Fly Spray, the preferred fly spray of Belmont Park. Piranha on, pests gone. Main track is fast, guys. Turf course is firm for today's action. And race number 6 to kick off again this Naira Bets Late Pick 5, 6 furlongs, main track, entry level allowance, and Pieri Bianchi making her 3-year-old return to the races for Todd Pletcher now, moving from the Doug O'Neill barn to Pletcher.
And she is not going to be 3-1 at post time. She'll probably be closer to 6-5 by post time. Listen, if she's able to even recapture her 2-year-old form, she's the horse to beat. If she can build on it, she'll beat these horses, but how trustworthy is she off the layoff?
It's a tough read for me because, listen, I understand it's Todd Pletcher, but we need not forget that Doug O'Neill has won a couple Kentucky Derbies as well. So I think she's vulnerable in this spot, to be honest with you, Andy. I mean, I don't know what to do with her, to be honest.
Let me give you a question. Is she better going a bit shorter, or did she just tail off at the end of last year? I think she did run well enough when second and third in the Chandelier, to Moonshine Memories, to suggest she can handle longer distances, so maybe she just tailed off after the Breeders' Cup.
Get signed up, get started, and you can get down to this Naira Bets Late Pick 5. It's exclusively available online at nairabets.com or on track in New York. $200 new member sign-up bonus. Use the promo code LIVE to take advantage of that sequence. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. We're going to check in now with Maggie Wolfendale for the first time this afternoon. This report brought to you by Hillendale Farm, standing curlin' for $150,000. Maggie?
Thanks, Greg. And let's check in with that layoff runner who is making her first start here in New York and for trainer Todd Pletcher. She's also turning back in distance, and I think that is key with this filly. She's run her best races when under 7 furlongs, and that's probably because she is a bit more on the smaller, typier, handier side. And so that turn back, I think, is absolutely ideal for a filly who's just been facing better horses out in California. She comes back in here really, really fit looking despite not having run since last year. Moving on to number 8, Palladian Bridge. She got pretty good over the winter time for trainer Ray Handel. Now, I'm not totally the biggest believer in her races in that I think she meets a fairly tough grouping here. But I will say that off the layoff, she's really, really kind of filled out, and she's carrying the best muscle mass that I've seen from her ever. But she's a little bit on the warmer side, but it's not as if she's expending too much energy. It's just sometimes when they do get a little warm, it tends to speak to the fact that they may need a start coming off of a break. Moving on to a horse I find very interesting in here, that is Cipriana for trainer Mark Henning. She was bet off the board in her first start, and she delivered in the face of a Todd Pletcher horse that came back to win as well. Then in her next start, once again, she was favorite, but she did absolutely no running. Talking to trainer Mark Henning, he said that she actually reared up and hit her back on the gate, kind of almost flipping over. They did not scratch her. They may have not even backed her out that day, but it just really unraveled her. Hopefully, mentally, she can keep it together. She has so thus far, and wondering if she can run back to her first couple of efforts. Obviously, she's a filly that has some talent, that does train very well in the morning, and boy, she looks really fit here, guys. Wondering what we'll see from Cipriana.
Yeah, Maggie mentioned the filly that Cipriana beat first time out. She came back to win by 4 next time out at Tampa. We're going to take a break in the action. We'll be back post-parade from race 6 that kicks off this Naira Bets late pick 5. That's ahead when we return on Belmont Park Live.
International Super Sire Warfront. Among his 34 stakes horses in 2017 were Grade 1 winners American Patriot, Avenge, Roly-Poly, Warflag, and Europe's champion 2-year-old colt, U.S. Navy Flag. Last year, Warfront was the nation's #1 sire in multiple categories. In the sales ring, his yearlings continue to bring prices well over $1 million. Warfront, standing at Claiborne Farm. His record-breaking accomplishments on the racetrack paved his way here to the Stall of Legends. Now retired to stud, we welcome the dawning of a new era as this esteemed champion hopes to stake his claim to immortality. His blazing speed and striking good looks have been passed down to his remarkable first foals. Foals that will carry the flag of their famous father and one day hope to break records of their own. Medication-free and undefeated in sprint competition. Run happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
You're watching Belmont Park Live on MSG Plus and Prime Ticket. Good to have you with us on this Sunday afternoon. Here is a look at Bluegrass Jamboree as we kick off our post-raid for Charlie Baker.
Comes out for Charlie Baker off a near 6-month layoff, has one race that gives her a chance.
4-time winner. She's 2 for 3 at Belmont. Never been out of the exacta here. Cipriana, trained by Mark Hennig. Javier Castellano rides.
Good effort first time out. And this filly has been blazing the track in the morning for her third start of her career.
Cherie DeVoe trains Take Charge Tina and Jose Lezcano in the irons.
Appears to be the rank outsider looking at her PPs.
Big price at 22-1. Isotope at 6-1 on the board. Irad Ortiz Jr. rides for Jeremiah Englehart.
This filly by successful appeal does like Belmont. 2 of the 4 wins have been here.
Brian Lynch trains She's the Berries. Badges Silver filly with Luis Saez.
She ran okay in her last start. The question is this one a tougher field or an easier field? I say tougher.
And Pieri Bianchi, she ran in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile fillies last year, then followed that up with a third in the Starlet. Now The 3-year-old debut, new barn.
Yeah, she was third in the great named Chandelier. Now in the Todd Pletcher barn. Not really getting played here at 9-5.
Perfect miss. Jose Ortiz, Jeremiah Engelhardt.
My selection here, second off a layoff, caught slop in her return.
First time back on a fast track since she won her maiden at Saratoga last summer. Palladium Bridge on the outside, Ray Handel, Manny Franco.
Obviously, the buyer figure might have been inflated because of the sloppy racetrack, but this horse has got other races to go to, and she likes to win races. 8 for 22 lifetime.
Naira Betts late pick 5 pool. You see 50,000 and growing. What'd you come up with, Paul?
Well, I thought this race was difficult. 2, 4, 5, 6, 8. I'm not trusting Petey Bianchi. I am going to single in the next race mentality, and then I'm going to all race number 8. I thought that race was very difficult. Race number 9. I'll go 5, 7, and 13 in there. I think collective effort could be sneaky. And then race 10, I'm going to go with Spring Drama. Horrific trip last time out. That race, it could be phony because there's so many different horses who can win that last race, but you got to take a stand somewhere, so I took a stand in the last.
Here's a look at Palladium Bridge, the only 5-year-old mare in this group of 3- and 4-year-olds, trained by man standing by with Maggie Wolfendale.
That's right, Greg. And Palladium Bridge, an 8-time winner here with Ray Handel. And Ray, you're bringing her off a little bit of a layoff after a blowout win. Talk a little bit about her time away from the races and what we can look forward to seeing from her today.
Well, she's we had a little setback after she won. We were pointing towards the Claiming Crown race at the end of Aqueduct meet. And she can be a little crazy training, and she can be a handful and difficult. And so she goes with the pony, and she terrorizes the pony when they go to and from the track. And one day she's walking home, and she just ticked off the pony to a point, and the pony tried to kick at her, and she just caught her on the inside of her left hind tibia and had a small sequestrum, which is essentially like a little flake of the tibia. Just a small little flake kind of came off, and we took the piece out at Patty Hogan's in New Jersey, and it was a real simple procedure. She told us we could go back to the track in 2 weeks, but she'd never had a break in her whole life, so I decided to give her 4 weeks, and she's come back and been training super, and I think she's gonna fire her A+ race.
Well, she could win on her A+ race, that's for sure. But looking forward to one of your young horses later on in the Kupakoi's Joy, and that is Collective Effort. Big maiden win last time. He is cutting back a bit on distance. How do you feel as though dynamics are going to work out for him today?
Dynamics will play a big role. I think actually, I think 7 would be a better distance for him, but there seems to be a lot of early speed in the race. So, Manny knows the horse well. He's going to have to work out a trip. Hopefully he's not too aggressive. He got the lead last time, first time with the blinkers on, and he had everything go his way. But I don't think he's going to be out there on his own today. But, we'll see how it plays out. But the horse is training super, and I expect a top performance from him as well.
All right, Ray, best of luck here, and thanks for talking with us.
Thank you so much.
All right, Greg.
Maggie, thank you. Yeah, collective efforts in that spectacular bid division of New York Stallion Stakes Series. Coming off that maiden score, Manny Franco, who will be aboard, and he's riding Ray Handel's Palladium Bridge in this race as well. Here's a look at Perfect Miss, however. Jose Ortiz for Jeremiah Engelhardt, 7-1. So second time out, wins at Saratoga, not been able to catch a fast track since.
Yeah, you look at this horse. I thought he ran well. She ran well enough in her debut at Saratoga, and she improved and ran a figure of 79, which sort of close to the best figures that anybody runs in here, and that was as a 2-year-old. She didn't run that badly trying a mile in the Frisette, and she was involved in the pace that basically fell apart. Her 4th place finish wasn't that bad, and then they thought of enough of her to take a shot and ship her for a grade 3 at Pimlico for her first start off a layoff. She got a sloppy sealed track. Now she gets a dry track. I think she's very interesting in here.
Meanwhile, Cipriana, daughter of Bodemeister, she was impressive first time out. Mentioned she beat a filly, would come back and win by 4 next out at Tampa. And how do you explain away that next start?
Well, you can't, because obviously she went to the sideline since then, so something probably went amiss, but you can't ignore the workouts on the bottom of the page. She's throwing bullet after bullet. 47 breezing for Mark Hennig. For Cortland Farnes and Castellano, and he's been running hot, Mark.
Yeah, well, it's very hard. You hate to just dismiss a bad effort and say, oh, it was so bad, I'm going to throw it out. Because frequently horses run badly for a reason, and they often don't come back and run as well. She's a big price if you like her, to be honest. Her debut was solid. She'd have to improve off of that effort. She did run so badly. I mean, she seemed to be just had absolutely nothing in there. You do have to think something went wrong.
Almost too bad to believe.
It really was bad.
Only second start of her career, so we'll see start number 3. We'll see if she shows that talent she did first time out. Meanwhile, here is Pieri Bianchi, and now she is down to 6-5 on the board. This is her 3-year-old debut, moving from Doug O'Neill to Todd Pletcher's barn, and she has tackled the best of the best back when she was a 2-year-old.
It's interesting that as well as Todd Pletcher does, and obviously he's one of the top trainers in the game, his numbers off of trainer changes with dirt horses are not that strong, particularly off of layoffs. So I think there's a real question of whether or not she'll be cranked up to run her best race off the layoff, though I'm not sure she has to if she gets back to her good 2-year-old form, Paul.
The reason why I don't trust this horse is because I don't know if the California 3-year-old fillies were the strongest point this year. You look at her, she got beat by Caledonia Road, right? Now you go look at Perfect Miss. Perfect Miss was behind Caledonia Road, not that far apart in the Frizette. So you're telling me 6-5 to 7-1. That's why I think Pieri Bianchi is a standout here at 6-5.
Let's check in with Maggie Wolfendale again.
And guys, I just want to kind of go back to number 2 in here. That is Cipriana. As I had said earlier, Mark Henning said that this filly flipped over in the gate. And when she got back to the barn, she actually had a pretty big abrasion on her back under the saddle. And I think just doing that probably unraveled her for that effort. We'll see if she can get back to her first run, which was pretty good. As we'll take a look at number 7, Perfect Miss. And boy, has she grown up quite nicely from 2 to 3. Obviously, the first time I'm seeing her is her first race as a 3-year-old. Came in a grade 3 down in Pimlico over a completely washed out racetrack. Getting back to a fast track here at Belmont bodes well for her. She was pretty sharp. She's actually since settled down a bit out on the track. That's always a good sign, I think. They kind of let off that steam and chill out before going in the gate. So I think Perfect Miss definitely deserves a look here, especially at 8-1 odds. I'll take it, guys.
This is the second start of her career, the 7 Perfect Miss. She's on the board at 8-1. Jose Ortiz aboard for Jeremiah Engelhardt.
Listen, I've already made my case for her. I think she's an interesting horse. I don't think you ship her down to run in that stake unless you're confident she's going to run well. You can't help the way the track came up. And this is a horse that ran a figure almost as high as any figure the favorite ran as a 2-year-old. Why can't she improve as a 3-year-old and be a major player here?
And that's Perfect Miss, the 7. You're looking at the 8 here, Palladian Bridge. She has been very sharp. She's won 2 of her last 3. You heard in the interview with Maggie, Ray Handel, the trainer, talking about the issues she had off that last victory. Got kicked by the pony, but been training sharply and is expecting a big run from her today.
Does she class up to this field? I mean, she has been beating lower level horses she's running against today, to be fair.
Yeah, she classes up a little bit, but the one thing you can give to her is a lot of these horses are one-time winners. Pieri Bianchi's won 1 time. She's won 8 times.
Yeah.
Now, I get it. It was because she was in lower class at the time, but you can't take away those 8 wins from her.
And that last win, she clearly jumped up to a new level.
Yeah. Yeah, well, maybe the slop helped her, but she has races on dirt that can win the race.
I got to get back to saying Maggie said. Mark Hennig, and Mark Hennig's an accurate guy, says the 2 flipped to the gate last time and they didn't scratch her. How is that helping the public? We scratch horses if they slip in the gate.
Usually, some jurisdictions,
that's very
it's an automatic
surprising.
scratch.
It should be.
Yeah.
You're protecting the horse and the public. Wow.
Even money now on Pieri Bianchi. Start of the Naira Bets Late Pick 5. Let's go upstairs to Larry Colmus for the call.
Ready for the start here. They're off. Perfect Miss sent out of there for speed, takes the lead right away and opens up a length. Take Charge Tina came out running in second. Cipriana's right up there in contention too. On the far outside, Palladian Bridge is going up. And then it's She's the Berries, Bluegrass Jamboree, Pieri Bianchi, and last of them all is Isotope. Perfect Miss, sharp from the start here. Leads the way through an opening quarter mile in 22.63 seconds. Palladian Bridge on the outside second. Cipriana third. Pieri Bianchi has made her way up into fourth now. She's 3 lengths from the front. Then She's the Berries. Bluegrass Jamboree on the inside. Isotope is going up there 3 wide. Last of them all is Take Charge Tina. Perfect Miss taking them to the top of the stretch in front by a length here. Cipriana saves all the ground. Piedi Bianchi's got to do better. She's under heavy pressure on the outside. Perfect miss to catch here. 45.78 was the half, and she's in the clear by 2.5 to Cipriana. Then Piedi Bianchi to the outside. Bluegrass Jamboree, and way on the outside, it's Isotope, but it's Perfect Miss. Perfect Miss comes home the winner here by 1.5 lengths. Cipriana was second, Piedi Bianchi was third, then Isotope in 109.66.
Back on a fast track for the first time since she broke her maiden at Saratoga last summer, and back in the winner's circle. Perfect Miss at 8-1.
Jose Ortiz rode her like the best horse. She broke the gate well. He went the front with her, and she commanded the entire way.
Yeah, the race was over as soon as they sprung the latch. You're right. It got to the front end, and listen, you can't have a quality filly like this get to the front end and go 57, 109. The two ran her heart out. Cipriana, who sort of swung off the fence and made up a little ground here, but again, a bad favorite. You have a California horse been running against 5-horse fields coming out here, and now got to face a 10-horse field or an 8-horse field with multiple winners. Different ball game.
Yeah, no, I agree. And, you know, the other thing is we talked about it with the 7. I mean, the 7, the winner, Perfect Miss, had run almost as fast as the favorite, as 2-year-old, so why couldn't she improve? And the information that Mark Hennig gave to Maggie, which Maggie gave, is tremendous information because it was not in the chart comments, and none of us knew that. And once you know that Cipriana flipped in the gate last time and still ran, you absolutely can throw her. And imagine if the 2 Cipriana was running with just her maiden win, she'd have been 4-1 and here are 7-2.
Complete and utter throwout. Yep. Definitely figured, and hopefully that helps some of you out there. 10-1 on Cipriana running second in here. 8-1 over 10-1 here in race 6. Jeremiah Engelhardt, Jose Ortiz team up. We're going to take a break. We're going to get a chance to talk to our friend Tom Amos. Sent out Lone Sailor Tough, beat up the fence in the Ohio Derby yesterday. We'll talk to him about that performance when we come back.
Make Naira Bets your home for online horse racing and betting. Start earning your sign-up bonus right now. With Naira Bets, you can use our state-of-the-art website to bet on live horse racing at over 200 tracks around the world. Bet anywhere, anytime, using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Build your bankroll with our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now at NairaBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus now. Get a $200 new member sign-up bonus on NairaBets.com.
Bayern turning for home in front. Coast of New York on the outside. California Chrome is third. Shared Belief laboring back to in fifth. 1 furlong to run. Bayern, Coast of New York. California Chrome on the outside. The 3 of them come to the wire. Bayern, Coast of New York. California Chrome. Here's the finish. Bayern holds on.
Tom, you there?
I'm here.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Hey, Tommy, it's Paul.
Good, buddy. What's going on?
You're the worst.
Oh, come on. Chris.
Back on Belmont Park Live, presented by Claiborne Farm. Naira Bets late pick 5 is underway, and Jose Ortiz wasn't messing around on Perfect Miss. Got her straight to the front. She kept on going.
Yeah, she was a very strong win for her. And Jeremiah Engelhardt, he shipped her down to Pimlico for a reason. She unfortunately caught that wet track, but it was good fortune for us today.
Congratulations to the filly by Discreet Cat at a Grand Slam mare, Jamboree.
So downstairs to Maggie for more.
Sorry, guys. And here with part owners, Nolan and Linda Russo with Perfect Miss in here. And guys, this is a filly that you bought as a yearling for only $20,000. I say she's paid you in dividends now.
Oh, she sure did. Exciting horse. Very exciting.
And Linda, Jeremiah must have been pretty high on her to ship her down off of that long layoff to Pimlico. Didn't work out because
so high on her, and she performed wire to wire. It was great.
And a promising filly. Stakes in her future next?
Oh, we had her in 2 stakes, but, racing game, you got to be lucky.
You certainly were lucky today. Congratulations, guys.
Oh, and I want to say hello to my partner, Orlando.
Yes, Orlando Renzo as well. Congratulations, guys. Big win from Perfect Miss.
Thank you.
Well, that's a nice win from Perfect Miss. Again, 8-1 in here, and can certainly build off this performance. Still very lightly raced. A lot of upside here.
Yeah, I agree. Test is coming up at Saratoga. It's a grade 1. It's a big race, but they have to be thinking of maybe taking a shot.
I would think so. And you know what? Turf's not out of her future, too. She's got a little bit of a turf pedigree, too.
Speaking of taking a shot, man joining us on the phone right now, he took a shot in 2 of the 3 legs of the Triple Crown with a horse he just ran yesterday in the Ohio Derby with Lone Sailor. That is our colleague, Tom Amos. Tom, good to have you on the phone. We're looking forward to seeing you down the line here. I want to go back, though, to yesterday and what was going through your mind with this setup with Lone Sailor, who looked like he was in prime position to win that race.
Well, you talk about taking a shot. I took a few shots when I got out of there and hit the bar, but it was a tough beat. But it was one of those races where, Lone Sailor was a little closer than usual to the pace. He had a good trip along the inside to a point. But, anytime you're in a race that has a lot of speed in it, and this race certainly did, the advantage is going to go to the horse that has a clear trip. And oftentimes when speed collapses, it's going to be along the rail. And if you're outside, you actually are going to be the one that benefits from a collapsing pace. I was down the rail, had to wait for room, and when it opened up, Irad did a great job. Irad Ortiz did a great job getting through, and he looked like he was going to win the race to me, and he certainly had every opportunity to do it. After the race, Irad told me he never saw Core Beliefs, who, by the way, is, and you guys know it already, but just for the audience, is a very good 3-year-old. He just said he never saw him on the outside. He passed his horse inside him, and the other horse was far enough outside, and he was out of his vantage point.
So, Tom, he lost this race. He's still got his non-winners of 1 condition. You bring him to Saratoga to run a non-winners of 1?
Well, yesterday the horse made $100,000 for running second, and I don't know any non-winners of 1 that offers that kind of money.
We can kick Andy off the set if you'd like, Tom.
I'm just warming you up for Saratoga, Tom, because you're going to have to bring some better stuff this year than last stuff, let's be honest. Last year, I mean.
Tom, what are you?
I'll be in prime form by the time Saratoga starts, and I got to say, I am really looking forward to it.
As are we.
Tom, obviously, this horse is a horse that we chronicled in Saratoga Live. We saw his first start. Tell us, the maturation of this horse since that first start that we showed.
Yeah, that's really a good point, right? Because when you rank him in the world of the 3-year-olds in the U.S. right now, the top tier ones, the maybe top 5 to 8 horses, I don't think he's quite there yet. And so when you get beyond that group, and maybe even inclusive of that group, Paul, those horses are going to take turns beating each other. And so I see this second half of the year being, for the 3-year-olds I'm speaking of, strictly the 3-year-olds, I see the second half of the year being one where I think a few horses are going to step forward to the front of the class, and it would not surprise me if some of those horses challenge Justify. I'm not trying to say that my horse is one of those, but you're exactly right. Mine is a slow learner, a slow maturer, and he seems to be getting better and better.
Well, Tom, all kidding aside, Tom, you're a trainer that obviously is happy to ship around the country and really run anywhere you can find an opportunity. And there are a lot of good pots for a horse like this to try out going forward.
Right. So, Andy, back to your original question. That's why. The Derbies are around right now during the summer. The Iowa Derby comes up. The Indiana Derby's mid-July. Those are big purse races. And if you have a horse that can be competitive in those, particularly one that likes to finish on the end, you're going to, end up with one of those derbies in your pocket and along the way some placings. And then that's just worth a lot of money. So this is a great time to have a 3-year-old who can get a route and and can compete in those kind of races.
My last question to you, Tom. You know, a lot of people were asking what took out of the horses from the Derby and the Preakness because of the mud. Your horse obviously ran so well yesterday, but he's almost danced all the dances. How's he doing, like, weight-wise, and how's he doing, like, towards the end of the year? I know you're so excited for him towards the end of this year.
Yeah, well, one of the reasons we skipped the Belmont, Paul, was because probably distance had something to do with it too. But I just don't think you can do all those races and come out of it and still have another campaign the rest of the year, unless you're a really special horse, which obviously Justify is. But when you look at the vast majority of the horses that ran those races, you can see that many of them fell apart, not because of their talent level. They're good, they're quality horses. It's just a lot to ask in such a short period of time. So we skipped the Belmont. We went here. You know, it's going to be something that the horse is going to tell us. He looks good right now. His weight is good. He's maintained that well. But how he does the second half of the year, when we get ready to run him again, a lot's going to have to do with him. We want to come to New York. I mean, Mrs. Benson is a real sportswoman, and she loves the idea of competing in these bigger races, and I totally get that. You know, when you're a competitor and have been at the top with the Saints as well as the Pelicans, you have a thirst for that, a taste for it, and a desire for it. So you know, Lone Sailor and the horses to come for Gail Benson and GMB Racing, they're going to be the ones that you're going to see running in these top races. We'd love to win one of them.
One question, Tom. Whether or not he runs in Saratoga, will he be stabled with you while you're in Saratoga?
Yes, he's going to come to Saratoga for sure. Don't hold that against me if he holds a stall and I don't make a start there. But, yes, he will come to Saratoga.
I'm not the racing director, so I really don't care.
Last question for the Bensons. Can you ask them if they like Anthony Davis, Drew Brees, or Lone Sailor better?
You asking me?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Anthony
That's
Davis.
a good question, right? I'm going with AD. He's got youth. AD's got youth, and he's a superstar.
Yeah.
Nothing against Drew Brees, but Drew Brees is giving me my Christmas present. I already got my Super Bowl. Now I need an NBA championship.
Good stuff.
Well, he took a nice step doing that in the playoffs this season. You got a nice horse, and again, in the second half of the year, a lot of things can change, and your horse improving could be a major player. Tom, thanks for coming on the show, and we'll see you again down the road soon at Saratoga.
Looking forward to working with you guys.
Yeah, that'll be fun, I guess.
If you have to. There's
We love
worse.
Tom Amos. Can't wait to see him. Always great to have him on the show, and we will have him back at Saratoga. And look, tough to lose a race like that, but that was a big effort from Lone Sailor.
It was. And as he said, core beliefs, the horse who beat him is a very good horse.
Yes.
I mean, we talked about him ad infinitum when he lost to Peter Pan.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, Mentality back in action for Wesley Ward. He's having a terrific meet. Can he keep it going with this speedster?
This three-time graded stakes winning millionaire defeated 20 Grade 1 winners. In the Dixie Stakes, he defeated Canadian champion and horse of the year Up With the Birds and set a new course record at Saratoga. Runner-up in the Grade 1 Manhattan and Shadwell Turf Mile, Ironicus ran 7 triple-digit buyers, including this score in the Fort Marcy Stakes. Half to 4 graded stakes winners, Ironicus has the speed, class, and bloodlines to become the next great sire by Distorted Humor. Ironicus at Clayton Farm.
Back on Belmont Park Live on MSG Plus and Prime Ticket. Our show brought to you in part each and every day by the champion sprinter, Run Happy. Set a new track record at Keeneland back in 2015. And I always go back, you're the one who pointed this out to me, Paul Luca. His debut race at Turfway was sensational.
It's one of the best debuts I've ever seen. Like, visually impressive. Like, if you go back to it and just put in Run Happy's first race, it's insane.
If you've not seen it, it is worth.
It's like 21-year-olds running against like 8-year-olds.
Incredible performance. And of course, he only got better and better from that point on. Time for What's Trending. And look who was back in action out on the West Coast. Triple Crown winner, Justify, paraded around Santa Anita, and Bob Baffert and Mike Smith signing autographs.
I think he's getting confused, Justify, and he thinks that there's just like a parade every week.
Yeah, I know, right?
Does not want to race. He's on the parade circuit.
Turn him into a diva.
He's back home. You know what? This is cool for the fans. A lot of the fans out in California, they like this stuff with California Chrome, Pharaoh. He's been, you know, Bob's been doing this for the last, 3 years now with 2 different horses. Listen, this is pretty cool for the fans. There's a lot of people out there.
17,000 plus on hand to see it. Hall of Famer Mike Smith staying to sign everyone's poster with a smile. He gives our game a lot of class. He absolutely does. He stayed and signed every single one he could.
I heard he signed over 3,000 autographs.
And he took pictures,
He's
too.
the man.
He is the man, and he always has been. And here's the thing about Mike Smith. No social media. He has none. Doesn't need it.
It's incredible. How about Gadoo and Royal Ascot? Great showing over there. It's from Amelia Green saying, enjoying some well-deserved grass this morning. He may not have won, but still made us all very proud of his game effort to be only beaten 2.5 lengths in the Commonwealth Cup at Royal Ascot.
I tell you what, he ran the best race he's ever run over there. I mean, listen, he still didn't win, but he ran very well. And I had teased Justin Zayat quite a bit, and he's a good guy. Of course, his father, Ahmed Zayat, runs Zayat Stables. That he just wasn't good enough for that race, but he showed he was good enough to be close.
Magnum Moon, meanwhile, working the other day, sustained a career-ending injury in a workout Saturday at Belmont. It occurred during the gallop bout on the training track. Structural injury to one of the colt's front legs. Of course, won the Arkansas Derby, the Rebel Stakes. Started his career perfect 4 for 4. Never ran as a 2-year-old. Was sensational until a brutally rough trip in the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, listen, it's very unfortunate when horses go down like this. You're right. He was not good in the Derby. He didn't want any part of that slop, and obviously maybe someone to miss that time, and this is very unfortunate, but he'll go to the breeding shed.
Cupicoy's Joy is coming up next. Mentality 3 to 5 for Wesley Ward. Won at 7 furlongs on the turf last time out. Looking to go back-to-back. Time for a paddock report brought to you by Hillendale Farm. Now standing Curlin for $150,000. Maggie?
I want to take a look at some horses who are trying the turf for the first time, ones that I think are convincing and getting to this surface. That includes number 2 in here, Weekets de Monies, who was a winner last time in that off the turf event. And before that, she was a scratch from the Misdirection Stakes over at Aqueduct. So they've tried to get her on the turf now 3 times. They're going to get their wish here today, and I can't blame them. I think she should like it. I've seen these DeFunny Bones take to it. The dam was good on the turf. The siblings, though, have not done anything when getting on the surface. So that's the one knock, but physically, I think she should be able to handle it. Moving on to one that does have a little pedigree for it as well. That's number 6, Pure Silver. Mission Impossibles, we've seen them in recent times really kind of taking to the grass and running well over it. She looks like she should take to it too. And furthermore, the dam herself was very good in turf sprints. The thing, though, is that Pure Silver has just not been in good form. She could have just been that very precocious 2-year-old type that's just not going to go on here. So we'll see what she does. Maybe the surface change, though, will wake her up. And then while Mentality looks fantastic and I really have no complaints with her, checking out the horse that I think could be her biggest threat, at least off of proven form, that's number 10 in here, Goodbye Broccoli. And she has come back now as a 3-year-old and been successful and run well going longer. But I've always thought as though of her as that 7/8 to a mile type of runner. So she's going to get that here today. And she's displaying that good, controlled energy. She's bouncing on her toes, but she's very obliging to her handlers here, just nicely on the bridle. And I think Goodbye Broccoli is the biggest threat to Mentality here, Greg.
Coming off a big win at 1 1/16, now cutting back to 7 furlongs, 5-1 on Goodbye Broccoli.
She looked so good. Even I could tell she looked good.
Yeah, right? I mean, she does. You know what? Blinkers. Sometimes it can change a horse's, form, and Goodbye Broccoli just completely responded to him.
She actually ran pretty well in her return as a 3-year-old, if you watch that race. And she sort of signaled that she was ready to take a step forward. Got a very good trip in her last race. But I don't disagree with Maggie. I think she is probably the most likely upsetter in this race.
Yeah.
Call to post. You may hear it behind us. And here we go with Orchid Party for Rudy Rodriguez. Trying the turf for the very first time. Javier Castellano rides.
The dam did handle the grass, but it's not really a pedigree that suggests she can move forward on the surface, and she would need to.
22-1. Here's We Gets the Money's another first time on the turf. Jeremiah Engelhardt, Manny Franco.
Well, they got the money 3 out of 6 times so far, this great little filly. They tried to get her on the turf last time. She still won that race from way back.
Another one debuting on turf. Another one like the one by Desert Party. Aunt Babe, Jose Lezcano, James Ferraro.
I've always been a fan of this horse, but her pedigree does not suggest that she will move forward in grass at all.
The one to beat, 4-5. Here's Mentality, Luis Saez for Wesley Ward.
She survived a fast pace that collapsed for everybody else in the race last time. Her races this year are better than they look on paper, and they're tough on paper.
Pure Silver, she was so precocious early for Todd Pletcher. Now she gets on the grass for the first time.
I understand they're trying the grass for the first time. There is something there. Mission Impossible's been okay, and the bottom side does have a couple turf winners.
Miss Mystique, big price here for Leah Giramati, Rajiv Mirage aboard.
You know, she ran okay last time behind Mentality and clearly ran her best career race first time in the grass. Long shot to throw in.
Baby Boss, 23-1. Joel Rosario aboard for Jeremiah Engelhardt.
I actually like this horse, and I'm not a kind of guy that gets in too deep in the stats, but when the sire's 0 for 120 with first-time starters, I'll stay away.
That is Frost Giant. That is an ugly number. Dreams are possible. The 9 here for John Toscano Jr., Kendrick Carmouche aboard.
A potential speed threat for Mentality early.
5 to, we go to the 12 instead. This is Creasy, Jose Ortiz, David Donk.
The horse is not getting bet at all, and, belongs with these horses, but maybe the outside post is why he or she's 11-1, because David Donk's hot.
She was 3rd to Mentality last time out, and here's the 13. She is Delightful. Dylan Davis for Bruce Brown.
She may be delightful as a horse, but she's not delightful on the turf.
And there is the 10. Goodbye Broccoli for Hilly Fields stable, Phil Serpy.
Yeah, Maggie's right. This is the one off that last race. She was impressive, and she's got a sprint win. And if the Brinklers have moved her up, she's the main threat to your favorite.
4-5 on Mentality for Wesley Ward. He's had a sensational meet to this point. And Mentality, her second start of her 3-year-old campaign, facing Creasy, facing Miss Mystique. She would hang on and get the money at 7 furlongs.
If you watch this alone, you say, well, she barely hung on. The horse who finished second didn't run great in the race yesterday. But I think if you look at the race as a whole, the way the race was run, anybody that was near the front end just completely finished in the back of the pack, and she was running strong at the end. She's tough.
Yeah, you made a good point. We were all over Piquet. I still don't want to get into it. I've had a couple people tell me what the name of the horse is. But that's who ran second in that race. Now, yesterday ran into a paceless race, and when I went back and looked at it, didn't run awful. But what do you do with Creasy, who's not getting bet on the outside of the 12, when Mentality just won so easily? Is she going to get even better? If she moves up anymore, she's going to be really tough in here, Greg.
Wesley Ward, he's been sensational at this meet. He collected his 10th winner at the Royal meeting as well. Does he still have that top hat on? Let's find out. Let's go to Maggie.
No, does not have the top hat on. I'm sure he's pleased to get that off of his head, but it does look good on you, Wesley, and thank you so much, and many congratulations for your 10th Royal Ascot winner.
Thank you, Maggie.
Fresh off the plane here, without kind of giving away too much, every year you've gone over, you've gotten a winner. What goes into getting these horses ready and your selection process for which horses will fit over there?
Well, it's just, you know the races, and for years now I know what it takes to win over there, that specific race, and not only going and competing, but also watching when I'm not running the other races that I'm not in. So, and you also have to have a very good horse. So that's first and foremost. You have to have a really good one. So, all the horses that I've had that have ran and won, even the 2-year-olds, have gone on to be Breeders' Cup horses and good horses later.
Exactly. And Shang, did she surprise you at all?
Well, she won at Keeneland, and she won beautifully when she broke her maiden. She won by many lengths with authority, and I was a little concerned over if she'd like the grass or not. The Shanghai bobbies I have liked the grass. And when we worked her on the grass at Keeneland, she just flew. So the only thing she didn't like a soft turf. When it rained at Keeneland and we worked her, she wasn't quite as good as the other filly I brought, Chelsea Cloister. So, but we got lucky on the day. It was fast and firm, and she won.
Bound for Nova ran a huge race as well. Do you think the Breeders' Cup turf sprint is in his future?
I've always thought he was a miler. So I'm gonna kind of go the same route I did with Undrafted the year that he won that race, and I'll stretch him out and see if what I see is true. He's a big, if you look at him, he doesn't even look like a sprinter. I think he's only fast because of me. But I'll try to work on kind of slowing him down. He's a really easygoing guy. Little 90-pound guy gallops him at home, and we'll see what happens.
He is a really cool horse, but you also have a nice one here, New York bred in Mentality. Big favorite here, Wesley. She's run well against Open Company. I mean, this seems to be her best distance as well. What do you think about her?
I think she's going to have a big chance. She's coming back a little quick for what I like to do. She looks, this is the first time I've seen her since I got back from Ascot, and she looks well. She looks like she looked a little bit better the last time I seen her. She's a little bit light from going back to Kentucky and back now. But she's very talented filly, done everything right, in the races that she's run. So, hopefully we're in the right spot.
Well, Wesley, best of luck with her, but many congratulations. Your 10th Royal Ascot win with Shang Shang Shang. Good to see you back here in New York, too.
Thank you.
Guys?
He's made history, and he's had a lot more Americans now look at Royal Ascot and say, we can win there, we should look at that, and head over across the pond and go to the Royal Meet.
So they have him to blame?
Exactly.
He wins over there. Nobody else seems to win over there.
Did he just say, I need to slow her down? He said that in the middle of it. I need to slow her down so she can relax.
He's also probably jet lagged,
It just shows you how good he is and how much speed he can put into his horses. I watched him one day at the old Calder, Gulfstream Park West, walk a first-time starter through the gate 30 times. That's how much he takes with his horses. That's why you don't see a lot of them get left. And him saying, I got to slow her down a little bit. Wow. He's darn good.
Meanwhile, look right there. Goodbye Broccoli. We talked about the talent. This one has shown only 3 times on the turf. 2 of those are wins. But to the outside, filly who faced Mentality could only get 3rd last time out against her. Today, 3rd off the layoff for her as well. Can she make up any ground today?
Well, I'm not going to say that she ran better than Mentality because she didn't. But she probably, and I'm not blaming Dylan Davis, but as the race played out, she probably moved a little too soon for a closer, and she made a big wide run. So I think she ran well in that race, but she'd have to step forward in her 3rd start off the layoff.
I'm surprised she's 9-1. I agree. She needs to step up, but I think she's surprised everybody. Listen, she was 60-1 first time out, and she ran a banger, 76-1. I'm sorry, and then they privately purchased her.
Do you think she's worse than the 3rd likeliest winner? I mean, Pure Silver's a shorter price. I think she's much more likely to win than Pure Silver.
Well, you're gambling on Pure Silver's going to like the turf. You know what I mean?
She better love the turf.
Yeah.
She better be a lawnmower.
7-1 on the 6-horse Pure Silver. She's the projection play. First on the turf for Todd Pletcher. She won, of course, the first 3 starts of her career, including the Grade 2 Adirondack.
Well, she has lived up to what I told you in Saratoga after she won the Adirondack. I told you she would never win again. I stand by that.
She came awfully close, didn't she?
Yeah, she lost it 2-1, 4-5, 8-5, 8-5, and even money.
Nose.
She lost
Final
it.
start of her 2-year-old campaign.
You looked at me like I was crazy then. Crazier.
I didn't. I was upstairs that day. Mentality of the 5, the one to catch for Wesley Ward, fresh back from Royal Ascot. Can she get it done? Again, looking to go back-to-back for the first time in her career. She is a short price. Let's go upstairs to the voice of the Triple Crown, Larry Colmus.
Last couple to come forward now are Pure Silver and She's Delightful. She's Delightful coming up to the outside stall to complete the line here. They're all in line. They're off. She's Delightful broke well from the far outside. Flashing early speed is Baby Boss now, who goes up to grab the lead, and Mentality goes up into 2nd. Pure Silver is 3rd. She's Delightful is 4th on the outside. Then Miss Mystique, Dreams Are Possible, Goodbye Broccoli, and We Get Stamani's on the inside. Creasy is next. Aunt Babe is 2nd last. Orchid Party at the rear of the field as Baby Boss shows the way through a 22.2 opening quarter mile. Mentality the favorite, pressing the pace on the outside 2nd. And then it's She's Delightful third, just outside of them. Miss Mystique tracks them fourth. Goodbye Broccoli fifth. Pure Silver nudged on to go from sixth. Passed on the outside by Dreams Are Possible Now. Then We Gets the Money's Aunt Babe and a 3-wide Creasy. Orchid Party at the back of the pack. Baby Boss still on top, but Mentality is closer now and just to the neck of this front runner after a 44.74 half mile. These two turn for home 2.5 lengths ahead of Miss Mystique. And then to the outside comes Goodbye Broccoli, followed in fifth by We Gets the Monies into the final furlong, and Mentality makes the front. Goodbye Broccoli is finishing with a rush on the outside. Creasy is coming too down the center of the course. Mentality, Creasy on the far outside, and Goodbye Broccoli. Here comes Creasy. Here comes Creasy to win it. Goodbye Broccoli second, Mentality third. We Gets the Money's fourth in 121.09.
Creasy from off the pace. Face Mentality last time out. This time she gets the better of her.
You just can't beat Jose Ortiz. He's now 2 for 2 in this late pick 5. The Naira pick 5, and he timed this perfectly. Listen, Mentality got stung by the 8 here. I thought the 8 was Baby Boss was going to give way, and stung the 5, Mentality.
No, this was a quick pace that really did do her in. 22-1, 44-3 for 7 furlongs. And I think Mentality ran very well here. Look, she's an even money shot. Supposed to run well, but let's face it, Creasy was able to time her move much better today than she could last time, and I think that made a difference, Paul.
No, it did make a difference. You could tell the 12 was over the top, and the 10, Goodbye Broccoli, were both moving at the same time, but Creasy likes to win races. Give credit to the 2 a little bit. We Gets Dummies, who was the gray in the middle, and looked like he was trying to run, or she was trying to run, and she got steadied a tiny bit, but I don't know if it would have cost her a placing, but
nah.
Again, Creasy lightly raced and got dismissed because of the post position.
Mentality done in by Baby Boss.
Right,
First time on the turf.
Same post as Therapist, right? Same outside post as Therapist.
Good point. Creasy at 6-1 springs the upset in the Kupakoi's Joy division in the New York Stallion Stakes Series. We're going to take a break. Prices from this race when we come back, and a marathon on the turf is next.
And they're off in New York, the premier state bred program in the United States. When you own a New York bred, your horse can run for more than $44 million in purses, restricted to registered New York breds. And the New York program pays awards to breeders, owners, and stallion owners when their New York breds finish first, second, or third at New York tracks. We have the quality. Audible, no doubt about it. You have the opportunity. New York breds, get with the program. The best program.
Creasy from off the pace. Jose Ortiz, his second winner on the afternoon, teaming up with David Donk. We've been saying his name a lot lately.
Yeah, he's been hot. Congratulations, this great filly by Cosmonaut out of the 3 Wonders mare, 3 Emeralds, now 2 for 6 lifetime. And like I've always said, we just live in Jose and Irad Ortiz's world. This time, Jose.
Didn't he have 3 wins yesterday?
Who could keep up?
I mean, yeah, you can. Irad second. There's the prices, $15.60 in. To start the Naira late pick 5, $83 for that double for $1. So you're on your way for a nice little score if you're alive.
$15.60 for the win.
Wouldn't you think Mentality was probably the most singled horse in the sequence?
Well, Therapist, Mentality, one of those.
Therapist and Mentality. Close. Close.
Yeah, close, yeah.
It's not easy. The other races, they're wide open.
Yeah,
every race is wide open.
Right.
Even if you get the, and it just shows, even if the Therapist wins, right?
And you beat Petey Bianchi. I know Petey Bianchi didn't get bet, but people that might have bet before, so.
Right. I mean, there are 3 shortest price in the sequence for Piedi Bianchi, Mentality, and Therapist. And so far, they're 0 for 2.
Yep. That young man, so talented, ended Javier Castellano's reign as the 4-time Eclipse Award-winning jockey. Took home his first award last year. And scary to think he's only getting better as well. Let's go downstairs to Maggie.
They don't.
And here with trainer Dave Donk and Jose, telling him longer?
I don't know.
Longer? I think 7 furlongs is pretty good here, Dave.
No, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know what's next, so.
Longer, Jose?
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Well, you know, you would probably try, if you do it, you'd probably try the Stallion Series at amount 2 turns in Saratoga ones. So, I don't know. We got to get past this one first. So.
Well, it was a big win, and she seems to thrive going this distance, Dave. It seems as though she likes that pace to close into, though, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, listen, you love to find those grass horses with a turn of foot. So she's developing it. She had a really good year last year at 2, and she's made a great, transgression from 2 to 3. I thought, a good first race and a very good race last time out, and obviously she made a big step forward today.
And I noticed looking at her, she actually seems to be getting stronger and putting on more weight with racing. Is she a filly that is thriving, getting to the track about every 2 weeks or so?
Yeah, I mean, she's really easy, really classy. She's easy on herself. Just fortunately she's going the right way.
And you said that Stallion Series stake up at Saratoga is on the horizon?
Well, I think it has to be. It's such a restricted area that if we're going to run 2 turns, you'd probably do that once.
All right, Dave. Well, congratulations here with Creasy.
Thanks.
All right, guys.
Helps to have that man riding for you, too. But David Donk doing tremendous work. Jose Ortiz, though, a couple of wins again today. But Donk, we've been interviewing him time after time over the past week or 2.
Barnes running cycles. We say this all the time. And, off air, Andy and I are talking about this. Listen. Guys have training license because they can train. You think David Donk is a 9% trainer because he can't train? No, he doesn't have the stock like some of these guys have, but he darn can train, and he's a good turf trainer.
He's like if you ever have a chef come over to your house and he says to you, what's in your refrigerator? And you say nothing, and he goes in and he makes an incredible salad.
Yeah.
That's Dave Donk. He makes absolutely the most out of whatever stock he's given.
But you make such a good point. He's hot. Sometimes you got to ride these waves. Barnes going waves, too, just like jockeys do.
Race 8 coming up next. It's a mile 3/8 over the inner turf coming up. Chad Brown's going to have a couple of horses in this race. Call Provision, the 2, Wake Forest on the outside. The 11 horse, it is a wide open group. Very intriguing race and a lot to talk about with this one coming up. That young man looking for his 3rd aboard Call Provision. But we're going to talk Javier Castellano when we return. He'll be aboard the other Chad Brown runner, Wake Forest. 4-time Eclipse Award winner, 4 years in a row. We'll hear more about him when we come back.
His record-breaking accomplishments on the racetrack paved his way here to the Stall of Legends. Now retired to stud, we welcome the dawning of a new era as this esteemed champion hopes to stake his claim to immortality. His blazing speed and striking good looks have been passed down to his remarkable first foals. Foals that will carry the flag of their famous father and one day hope to break records of their own. Medication-free and undefeated in sprint competition. Run happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Make Naira Bets your home for online horse racing and betting. Start earning your sign-up bonus right now. With Naira Bets, you can use our state-of-the-art website to bet on live horse racing at over 200 tracks around the world. Bet anywhere, anytime, using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Build your bankroll with our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now at NairaBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus now. Naira Bets, racing's best play.
I'm Javier Castellano.
Roses apart, cloud computing, so it is.
I'm Javier Castellano.
Roses apart, cloud computing, so it is Javier Castellano getting the Preakness.
And I'm a jockey. I really like to be jockeys. It's in my blood. My father was a jockey for 25 years. Love the sport, but the one thing my father, he don't want me to be jockey. It's a dangerous sport and a lot of sacrifices, and he changed his mind. He decided to help me up. He want me to finish high school in my country, Venezuela. My father was the biggest influence in my career, my life. It's my idol, and it's something I always look out for. One of my biggest wins in my career could be Ghost Hopper, 2004. He won the British Cup Classic.
And Ghost Hopper is pulling away impressively. And a pumped up Javier Castellano. They have soundly defeated Roses in May. This was a no doubt about it winner.
He put me in the map. He put me basically another level. And very successful, winning 4 Clis Awards back-to-back. I think it's pretty amazing. 5 travel in Saratoga. I think it's pretty great achievement in my career.
And here on the far outside comes Keen Ice with a late threat. American Pharoah put away Frosted. He has to deal with Keen Ice. Keen Ice has got him. Keen Ice has won the Travers over American Pharoah in a dramatic upset.
I always looking for target in my life, or always looking for goal. And I've been very lucky, fortunate, to ride the best horse in the country. A lot of support, the biggest trainer in the country, the biggest owners and the races. And I've been very fortunate, you know. I've been working hard for many years for try to enjoy this moment right now. To be inducted to the Hall of Fame, I mean, it's great. I mean, it's something any athlete and any sport is looking for that big level, you know. Thought, you know, and soon or later it's gonna come, but I didn't expect it that quick. To be father with 3 kids and my family, be part of my family, is a great moment in my life, you know. Spend the time with them, spend the Monday, Tuesday, my dark day off, spend it with them and play baseball with the little boy and my girl, they play tennis. It's amazing. My wife should be in support in my career. Amazing, because if without her, I think it would be nobody in charge. You know, I think it's one part of my success in my career. To be married with my wife and with the 3 kids, I think that helped me to me motivated my career.
He is at the top of his profession. I mean, that's an unreal run. 4 consecutive Eclipse Awards, and I got to say, one of the nicest guys you will ever meet as well.
Does it with class, and you can't teach that. That's one thing you can't. You can teach all the skills in the world that you have, but you can't teach what Javier Castellano brings inside. He's very sharp. As you see the jockey standings, he's got the Ortiz brothers to deal with, but he's always going to be in the top 5.
Listen, there's a bit of a pass in the baton. Javier's gotten a little older. I mean, he's not older for this game standards. And one thing about Javier, and I've talked to him quite a bit, and I consider him a friend, he is as prepared a rider as you will find. He looks at the races, and he actually tries to think, how has this horse been ridden, whether by himself or somebody else, that I could ride him differently and maybe have a better outcome?
Oh, he's going to be on board Wake Forest in this race coming up. 1 of 2 again for Eclipse Award-winning trainer Chad Brown. Outside post, and Castellano knows this one well.
Yeah, and, you know, listen, Wake Forest is 1 for 5 the last 2 years. So he's obviously, Chad's either picking his spots or something's going on here. He didn't run well last time, but he has efforts, and he likes to win races. He's 8 for 23 lifetime.
Well, he obviously has the best efforts of anyone here with a Grade 1 win in the Man of War. But his recent efforts are just below par. He's not the horse he once was.
Michael Dubb, though, owns him. That's a good sign.
Honestly, you have to see, from an ownership standpoint, whenever he has a horse in a race, that horse always figures. That's how dangerous he is. Meanwhile, Island Sky, the 4, Manny Franco, will be aboard for Barkley Tag, 9-2 on the son of Sky Mesa right now. 0 for 7 at Belmont.
I got mad love for this horse. I love all the horses owned by Bonner Young, just going way back to horses like Kylan Springs and others. But he is a nice horse who just doesn't get it done. And he's a deep closer, and he's always getting the wrong trip. He's a tough horse to ride. I love him. Would love to see him do well, but he finds ways to lose.
You make a great point, Andy. I kept trying to pick this horse, but you look at some of his Beyer speed figures. I get it, 96, it's great, but he's in a 5-horse field, and he loses 60 cents on the dollar. He seems to hang an awful lot. Like you said, he's 0 for 7, and I have a lot of love for Barkley Tag. I get it, but he just seems like he just never gets there.
This horse does get there. Call Provision, he's the 9-5 favorite right now. He's won 6 times in his career. He's exiting a Grade 1 last time out. And you look a few starts back, we're going to look at his Red Smith, where he just barely missed by a half length.
To some bum named Spring Quality, who I think won $1 million Grade 1 on Belmont Stakes Day. He's the horse to beat in here, Call Provision. He can be his own worst enemy. He's a bit of a quirky horse, but he had a close sort of inside of that one, not an easy thing to do. But you look at him. I mean, the Man of War, it had a slow pace. He made a middle move. He never really got to save ground during running a race. That's by 2 lengths to horses that are just a little bit better than him, but not necessarily as good as the ones he's faced today. He's the horse to beat.
He is the horse to beat. I mean, I thought that was an impressive replay there. He was weaving in and out of traffic, showing a ton of heart. And you look at his form, he hasn't not run worse than 4th. He brings his game every time.
So honest.
He is. He's a very honest horse. He's been beaten by the 5 in here, Hello Don Julio, because Hello Don Julio is dangerous because of his speed.
Time for a paddock report to hear more about who looks good in the paddock. It's brought to you by Hillendale Farm. Standing Curlin for $150,000. Let's go to Maggie Wolfendale.
Or who doesn't, Greg, as I do like Chad's favorite in here, Call Provision. His other one, though, who is currently the second choice in number 11, Wake Forest, I really, truly believe that this horse's best racing days are behind him, and we saw it when he was a 6-year-old. Now he's an 8-year-old. I didn't mind him when he came off the bench. I thought he was kind of getting back to his physical form, at least, that I had seen in 2016 in that Aqueduct race, and I'll probably talk him right into the winner's circle here, but he just doesn't look like the same horse. We'll see what he does, but other horses that do look good here include number 8, Gold Shield, possibly one of the best times I've seen this runner now as a 6-year-old here for Shug McGahee. I mean, he's just really kind of filled out and reached that physical peak. He's got that big crusty neck. He just looks like a nice horse, and his coat looks fantastic, and obviously he looks well prepared and very fit coming back here. So I think Gold Shield, especially, I like him at this distance. I think he could run well off a little bit of a break. And then you have number 10, Messy. We have a couple quirky horses in here, to say the least. And Messy might be the ringleader, as you never know what you're gonna get. He's like a box of chocolates. Though I will say, last time, relative to what he had looked like in his 2 races in the latter half of 2017 here, or I should say that 1 race at Aqueduct, I didn't like him that day at all. He didn't look good. Came back and he looked 10 times better back on May 25th here. But he almost ran like a horse that needed a race. He does look tighter here. He's a little bit more tucked up. I'm wondering what we're going to see from Messy here. He is a horse that is, like I said, a bit of an in-and-outer. He always keeps you guessing, Greg.
6-1 right now. And the horse is just in your screen there. Hello, Don Julio.
Shouldn't Messi, by the way, do well during the World Cup?
You would think. Ultimate hunch play, right?
They lie. I don't know if you want to be an Argentinian fan right now.
Is that bad?
They lost.
Ooh. Okay. Got to be up in my World Cup more.
Barkley Tag. Talking things over with his rider, Manny Franco of Highland Sky. 5-1 right now on the
He's
4-horse.
Giving him instructions. No matter what he does, if the horse loses, he'll yell at him after the race.
And there is Javier Castellano.
All alone. No friends.
I
Nobody
know,
talking
right?
to him.
Thinking strategy maybe
Sometimes
with Wake
it's-
Forest.
Sometimes it's be good to be all alone. You sit yourself
Quiet
in
your
a-
mind before
yeah,
you ride?
100%. Quiet your mind. Get everything away. Get all the distractions away from
What was
you.
your routine before every event?
Well, my routine was always like, get away from the fans. Because you always had fans and people in your ear trying to tell you stuff. So, like, a lot of people always used to tell me, I was yelling your name. I'm like, bro, I'm about ready to face Clayton Kershaw. Do you really think I'm gonna listening to you in the stands? So that's exactly what Javier Castellano's thinking. He's not going to be listening to people telling him stuff.
Let's not give people the incorrect impression that you weren't nice to fans. I've never seen anybody who's as nice to their fans as
Thank
you
you.
are.
I
man.
appreciate it. I appreciate it. I try to
this,
be.
I mean, this. It looks like all fun and games in the paddock, but that's the time to lock in, right?
You have to lock in because, listen, you got to listen to your connections. More times than not, the connections get upset because the rider doesn't ride to the instructions. You got to listen to the instructions, first of all.
Yeah, I mean, you don't, it's hard. And like, as somebody who's got a million opinions, which I do, and thinks he's smarter than everybody else, which I do, I also recognize that I don't, if a trainer asks me, what do you think? Or a rider said, if somebody said something to me, but these people don't need guys like me telling them what to do. Even if I happen to know, and they should be listening.
This was a groundbreaking moment on our show
this
right
is
here.
a groundbreaking moment.
Which part of it?
Andy Serling.
Which part of it?
A lot of it.
Admitting he doesn't know everything.
No, I do know everything. I'm just saying that they don't necessarily need to hear it all.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I misunderstood.
Come on, don't be ridiculous. I know everything. Stop.
You can get signed up, started, play along, go with Andy's bets, or even make your own, too. $200 sign-up bonus for new members. Use the promo code LIVE to take advantage. Go to NyraBets.com. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. New members, $200 in your account at NyraBets.com. Here comes our post parade, and we're going to kick things off here in a moment. On cue, called post from Sam the Bugler with infinite wisdom. Brian Lynch trainee, Joel Rosario. We saw Brian Lynch do pretty good with a horse off a layoff recently, didn't we?
Brian Lynch has been on fuego with 3 winners over the last week. This horse can be forwardly placed. Boy, he'd need to run his best race to beat these, though.
Call Provision, one of 2 in the race for trainer Chad Brown, coming out of the Grade 1 Man of War.
Yeah, 6 for 15 lifetime. Loves this distance, too. 3 for 6 lifetime at this distance.
8-5 favorite. The 4, Highland Sky, son of Sky Mesa for Barkley Tag.
Tough read. Like I said, is he fool's gold? He likes to make a late move, but he eats up a lot of money.
Hello, Don Julio. Set the pace in the Grade 1 Manhattan. Finished 7th in that race. He'll be on the front end again today.
Listen, he ran very well in the Manhattan, but it was a race the whole field fit the wire together. But still, he's got speed and he's got talent. Can he come back in 15 days, though?
And he's got the right rider, right, if you want to be in front with Kendrick Carmouche. The 8, Gold Shield. We'll see her here in a moment for Shug McGahee, 6-year-old by Medaglia d'Oro.
And there's the son of Medaglia d'Oro out of a tremendous mare. If you never got to see her run, Dream Supreme, Seeking the Gold mare. She was tremendous over the racetrack.
Terrific sprinter.
Oh, she was monstrous. 5-1 today. And, Shug usually gets him ready off the layoff. He's better than you think. He's about 18 to 20% in this situation.
She was, of course, for George Steinbrenner. She's part of the Kinsman stable here. The 9, Small Bear, Jeremiah Engelhardt, August Dawn Farm, John Velasquez.
My second choice and my long shot selection behind the favorite. Like to see him forwardly placed.
Messi, Rajiv Mirage for Graham Motion.
Confusing horse. This horse ran a race at Saratoga in July that was unreal, but just hasn't gone back to the Northern Dancer. And last time, didn't run a step. I don't know what to do with Messi.
Aggressive warm-up there with Rajiv aboard. Wake Forest, Javier Castellano, the other Chad Brown runner in here. Michael Dubb, Sheep Pond Partners.
I believe the lone Grade 1 winner in this field, whether or not he's that quality horse anymore, is obviously the question.
That's your field. Mile and 3/8 over the inner turf coming up. And then it's more from the New York Stallion Stakes Series in the spectacular bid division. Therapist. Trying to win for the 5th time in his career as he cuts back in distance. That's still to come. Stay tuned.
Make NyraBets your home for online horse racing and betting. Start earning your sign-up bonus right now. With NyraBets, you can use our state-of-the-art website to bet on live horse racing at over 200 tracks around the world. Bet anywhere, anytime, using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Build your bankroll with our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now at NyraBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus now. NyraBets, racing's best play.
Grade 1 winner Lee traveled the world competing against the best of his generation. A graded stakes winner on both dirt and turf, he set a new track record in the Grade 1 Don Handicap and retired with earnings of more than $2.3 million. With his much-anticipated first foals hitting the ground this year, the sky is the limit for this promising young stallion, Lee, at Claiborne Farm.
Welcome back to Belmont Park Live. 1 3/8 miles on the turf. They start at the top of the stretch on the inner turf course as we see horses warming up over my shoulder on the sealed main track. And we'll take a look at a horse who is looking to probably secure an early lead, and that is number 5, Hello Don Julio. This horse is interesting. You could kind of look at him 2 different ways. When a horse comes back and runs their best effort off of a layoff, in which he ran very well in the Manhattan, sometimes they react to it, and he is coming back off a short rest. But I will say that he looks strong out of it. It's not as if he's lost a lot of weight. He looks fit, though, and he looks ready to go. I like what I'm seeing from Hello Don Julio. He's a little bit chilly on the board right now. I thought he'd be bet a little bit more than his current 5-to-1 odds, but we'll see what he ends up being. And I have a feeling he might be able to get back to those 2 good races that he's run. Moving on to his inside in number 4, Highland Sky. Another one of those quirky horses, as Andy was mentioning. Very, very difficult horse to ride. Now, Manny Franco gave him a warm-up away from the pony, I'm sure, so he doesn't kind of lag in the early stages of this race, because sometimes he will do that. And he's just going to have to time his ride right. I will say, though, in his previous efforts this year that I've seen him, he looked a bit better. Not saying he can't win here, but I liked him a little bit more in his last 2 efforts at Aqueduct and here at Belmont. So really interesting field here, but Greg, they do really have call provision to beat.
Yes, they do, Maggie. And the board reflects that 6-5 on the horse exiting the Grade 1 Man o' War last time out for trainer Chad Brown. Jose Ortiz looking for his 3rd winner on the afternoon on the 2-horse.
Yeah, and listen, he's the one to beat. Like we said coming in, the son of the Lemon Drop kid, he brings it most of the time. He very rarely runs a bad race.
He comes, launches from far back. Hello Don Julio, the 5, with Kendrick Carmouche will be the one to catch. Let's send it upstairs to the voice of New York Racing for the call, Larry Colmus.
Wake Forest has taken up position in the outside stall here. They're all in line. They're off. Infinite Wisdom is sent out of there with Hello Don Julio. Messi up and on the pace too, then Gold Shield, followed by Wake Forest on the far outside, while Call Provision will sit behind horses and run in sixth early on, 6 lengths off the lead, just ahead of Highland Sky and Small Bear, who's now going up on the outside. So it's going to be Infinite Wisdom and Hello Don Julio to lead the way through this 11-furlong journey. They're 3/4 of a length apart and just ahead of Messi, who settles into stride third on the inside, 23.27, a decent pace. Then Gold Shield, Wake Forest, Small Bear on the far outside. Call Provision saves all the ground, 5.5 from the front, and Highland Sky trails. So they make their way to the backstretch with Infinite Wisdom the leader. Hello Don Julio pressing second on the outside, 3/4 of a length behind as they enter the backstretch in 47.48 seconds. Then Messi on the inside of Small Bear, Gold Shield right behind them, Wake Forest 5 lengths off the lead and just ahead of Call Provision, who's down on the inside. Highland Sky on hold at the back, 7 lengths off of Infinite Wisdom and Joel Rosario, who've been in front since the gates opened. Infinite Wisdom, a half length on top. Hello Don Julio creeps closer now. They're almost on even terms through 3/4 in 111.42. Messi is third on the inside of Gold Shield and Small Bear. And then comes Wake Forest on the outside. Call Provision is going to save ground throughout here. 5 lengths off the lead. Will need a way through at some point. As they make their way into the turn, Highland Sky just went by him. So Hello Don Julio has taken the lead here. Small Bear goes with him as Infinite Wisdom drops back. Gold Shield is next. Wake Forest revs it up on the outside. Then Highland Sky, Messi, and Call Provision's going to take the overland route here as they make their way to the top of the stretch. Hello, Don Julio, turning for home in front. Small Bear to the outside second. Gold Shield third. Wake Forest closing on the outside. Highland Sky and Call Provision are coming too. It's wide open with a furlong to run. Here's Call Provision. Here's Highland Sky and Gold Shield, and they go by Hello Don Julio. Highland Sky's got it close to home. Highland Sky outruns Call Provision, wins it by a neck. Gold Shield was third, Hello Don Julio fourth, and 2:10.98, a very fast final time.
Highland Sky, Manny Franco, Barkley tag, 4th win of this 5-year-old's career.
And he finally got some pace to run into. And you know what? He was game because Call Provision got to him. I'm not even sure Call Provision didn't put a head in front. And Call Provision may have swung wide, but he saved ground earlier in the race. Highland Sky, terrific ride here by Manny Franco.
Wow.
And it's nice to see this horse finally get a win.
Yeah, you made a great point. What a ride by Manny Franco. Watch right here. He sort of has to wait just a tiny bit. He's not using the whip. That's why the whip's overrated, because he can't use the whip. He's got to keep on moving in between horses. Now he's going to stick left-handed there because he saw the 2 horse to his outside, and he's just going to outfinish. A horse that doesn't have a ton of winning spirit, never won at Belmont. This is a nice little result, and you're right, a great ride by Franco.
7-1. Highland Sky wins for the first time since February of 2017. And Call Provision came right to him, and he just held him off.
2:10 and 4/5, just under 2:11. They were moving. The turf is firm, but they were moving. I think Call Provision ran very well in here. Highland Sky just finally won a race.
I think Highland Sky finally got that trip that he needed, Andy. And
Yep.
he's run so many good races and hasn't got the W, and finally he got the right trip.
And I like
you know
that
what I
he
mean?
dug in and got the win. You
Yeah.
know, it's not like he got lucky. The other horse came to him and looked like, I'm not even sure whether or not the 2 got his head in front, but Highland Sky dug back in and was drawn away.
And the other part about this is he put away Gold Shield, too, who was right in the middle of it.
4-2-8-5 finish. Highland Sky. It's a nice win against a very good field. At 7-1, we'll have the prices when we come back. Manny Franco, couple of wins on today's card. We still have more stakes action ahead. Stay with us.
Switches back to the outside. Exaggerator down to the 16th pole, but Exaggerator has turned the tables. He has won the Breedless. Nice has won the Travers over American Pharoah.
Irish War Cry has won the Wood Memorial.
Good Magic's gonna win his first race, and he's gonna do it as the Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
on Belmont Park Live on MSG Plus and Fox Sports Prime Ticket. We still have the other division, the New York Stallion Stakes Series. Mentality defeated earlier. Therapist still ahead to come in one of our stakes races. And there's Manny Franco heading to the winner's circle. For Barclay Tagg, Highland Sky getting the job done in this mile and 3/8 marathon on the turf, holding off the favorite call provision for the victory.
Congratulations. Yeah, you know what? This dam could run, too. This is Sky Mesa out of a petition field mare, Christie with the K. She was a runner, and Highland Sky will get the job done. And look at that pick 3. If you're live in the Naira late pick 5, just get it home. You got your numbers already.
Let's go downstairs to Maggie Wolfendale.
Here, we're interrupting Barkley's replay watching, guys. He's gonna have to look over our cameraman's shoulder. But Barkley, congratulations, Highland Sky. He always shows up, but finally he won today.
Yes, he did. We ran a great race today, and I've always had a lot of faith in him. I've always wanted to get him to go further and further, and run into some opposition there now and then. But anyway, we got him stretched out today. He ran a very good race last time in 1.25 miles. He ran his best buyer number, which gave me some encouragement. And then he just ran beautifully today, and Manny rode him perfectly. He just did everything I wanted to do. He warmed him up good and got him away good, and snuck up the backside a little bit with him and get him in striking position. He did a great job with him. It worked out perfectly.
Do you think because Manny has been on him the last couple times, he's learned a lot about this horse?
Yeah, I think it probably helped a lot.
And speaking of learning a lot, you know this family very well. You campaigned the mom, Christy with a K. She was very good. How important is it to kind of understand these bloodlines and to be successful with these horses?
Well, it's nice that way, of course. You envy somebody like Shug McGahee, you know. But this lady's been very loyal to her old foundation mare, and she's bred the babies back and forth, and never bought any kind of new fillies or mares at all or anything like that. Just stud fees and worked it up, and we've had a lot of success for her. So it's great. It's been great.
It's really remarkable to have a family lineage that long and success with it. But congratulations here with Barkley with Highland Sky.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, Greg.
Congratulations to Barclay Tagg and the connections there. That's a nice win from this horse. $17.20. We had an $18 horse and then a $15 horse in this Naira Bets late pick 5 pool, $81,000. The pick 3 was over $800. Is that right for a dollar?
$838, somewhere in that area.
Why didn't I hit that?
Well, like I said, it's 81,000. We saw already on Belmont Live this week a one-ticket winner. We get something crazy. If Therapist gets beat here, we could be seeing another one-ticket winner or chances for carryover in the last.
That last race is difficult, too.
Yeah.
We're not going to have it on our show. You can watch it on the Naira Now app, but yeah, it's a wide open last race. Naira Bet's late pick 5. It has proven time and time again to be the best bet in this game. The only way to play it if you do not reside in the state of New York is by going to NairaBets.com. Of course, on Saturdays, the only winning ticket, minimum $100,000 guarantee. Gearing up for the Belmont Derby. We'll take a preview look ahead of what's to come. Talk hawkish next.
Mastery retired undefeated, winning his 4 starts by a combined 20 lengths. A 6-figure September sale purchase, he won impressively in his 2-year-old debut at Santa Anita. From there, he captured the Grade 3 Bob Hope Stakes and completed his juvenile campaign with a dominant performance in the Grade 1 Los Alamitos Futurity. At 3, the top-rated son of Candy Ride sizzled in the San Felipe, running a 105 buyer and winning by open lengths. Mastery, new for 2018 at Claiborne Farm.
Back on Belmont Park Live, Greg Wolf, Paul LaDuca, Andy Serling, Maggie Wolfendale with you. We have more stakes action ahead. Therapist back in action in our very next race, which we'll talk about momentarily. First, we're going to look ahead to some big ones coming up in the near future, and we have the Mother Goose ahead on Saturday, June 30th. Always a tremendous race. By the way, Kupakoi's Joy with that earlier division, former winner of the Mother Goose.
She is. The Mother Goose, if you look through the stakes history on NYRA.com, it's a virtual who's who of some of the greatest horses in racing history. Rachel Alexandra, first one I ever saw, Ruffian, 1975.
Wow. Two pretty good ones.
Let's take a look at the probables for this year's edition. You see Midnight Bazoo, third in the Kentucky Oaks, eyeing this spot. And that third in the Kentucky Oaks ended a 3-race win streak for her.
Well, you know, the name you don't see on here, obviously, is Monomoy Girl. And Coach Rocks obviously wasn't good in Kentucky, but was very, very good on running second in the Black Eyed Susan. You got some other horses that are moving up, but Midnight Bisou is the horse to beat.
She's the horse to beat. She didn't run badly in the Kentucky Oaks, and she obviously was terrific out in California. She's since been moved to Steve Asmussen.
So look at her win in the Santa Anita Oaks leading up to the Kentucky Oaks, and this was just a dominant performance. She would beat Spectator in this spot. It was a possible for the Mother Goose.
Yeah. Listen, she just decimates this field. You just don't know the competition behind her. We've said this before. The 3-year-old fillies out in California haven't been stellar, but she's the best one of all of them.
She's the one to beat.
That is coming up on Saturday, June 30th, and it looks like it's going to be a tremendous field. Meanwhile, Hawkish was back in action in the Penn Mile back on June 2nd for trainer Jimmy Toner, and that was a big win, going away by 3 lengths.
It's amazing how Jimmy Toner, who doesn't have that many horses in his barn, every single year, and usually it's a filly or mare, but every single year he has a serious turf horse.
He really does.
It's incredible.
This one is working outside of Manitoulin, and Manitoulin had a rough trip and probably should have won his last race. So I thought
he had
this
a bad ride.
That's what I meant, a rough trip and bad ride, yeah. But it looks like he's doing it with ease on the outside of Manitoulin.
This is a very nice horse. Distance the question, right? He's been terrific going a mile in his last 2 starts. He's got to show he can get a mile and a quarter.
Here's Jimmy Toner talking about this work.
Very good, a little quicker than I expected, but he worked with Manitoulin, so Manitoulin always makes sure everybody works hard. The race at Aqueduct surely was an eye-opener. Not that we didn't always have confidence in the horse. I think he's a nice horse, but that day he broke a track record. So, breaking a 30-year-old track record was pretty, awesome in itself. So I knew he'd be very tough going into the Penn race. As he rated nicely, got shuffled back a bit, which maybe worked out as a good thing. And Manny didn't get excited, just sat there with him. And then when he got ready to make them move around the turn, he just tipped him out. And when he did, he just took off with him. If you run him in the Belmont Derby mile and a quarter, I mean, that's the unknown factor, and that's what we'll find out. Artie Schiller, mile. But I think he's got a quick enough turn of foot. I think it's just the idea of waiting long enough with him.
3 for 4 in his career, back-to-back wins, and it looks like he's just getting better right now.
I mean, what can you say? He's just a terrific racehorse. And to think about a matchup between Catholic Boy and Analyze It, and then you add Hawkish the mix, some Europeans that look pretty good. You can see the noms on the Naira Horseman's page. This Belmont Derby is going to be one you cannot miss.
New York Stakes Stallion Series Spectacular Bid Division and Therapist. 1 to 5 favorite. First off, Clement Trainee towering over this field in the public, making him a monster favorite in this spot. We'll talk more about this field when we come back from a short timeout. We're 14 minutes to post. The stakes race ahead. Stick with us.
His record-breaking accomplishments on the racetrack paved his way here to the Stall of Legends. Now retired to stud, we welcome the dawning of a new era as this esteemed champion hopes to stake his claim to immortality. His blazing speed and striking good looks have been passed down to his remarkable first foals. Foals that will carry the flag of their famous father and one day hope to break records of their own. Medication-free and undefeated in sprint competition. Run happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Make Naira Bets your home for online horse racing and betting. Start earning your sign-up bonus right now. With Naira Bets, you can use our state-of-the-art website to bet on live horse racing at over 200 tracks around the world. Bet anywhere, anytime, using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Build your bankroll with our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now at NairaBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus now. Get a $200 new member sign-up bonus on NairaBets.com.
Back on Belmont Park Live. Ooh, take a shot at all of that. Naira Bets late pick 5. Someone's taking home all that money. We'll see what happens. Still 2 more legs to go. Got a stakes race coming up. 2-5 favorite. Therapist. Let's go downstairs for a paddock report with Maggie Wolfadale. It's brought to you by Hillendale Farm. Now standing Curlin for $150,000.
Greg, thank you. And by far the easiest field that Therapist has faced, I would say, since he broke his maiden back in with New York breds. Back to 7 furlongs, and I like it. And so does everybody else. I really have no problems with this horse whatsoever. Physically, he's built to be more of that 7/8 pushing it at a mile kind of distance, and he looks healthy and he's strong looking overall. And I thought last time going a mile, he got a bit ranked down the backside, and I think the 7 furlongs will mitigate that, or kind of eliminate that, I should say, as he'll get pace to run into here. So Therapist looking strong as your favorite. The other horse that really caught my eye in here, though, is number 5, Siggy, who is light on experience, yes, and has yet to go this short as he turns back to this 7 furlongs. Now, going longer, he has been a speed type, and I do think he hung a little bit. He really should have probably gotten by Peculiar Sensation in his last effort, but I'll be interested to see what he does, because he is actually really relaxed in here. As I said, he looks spectacular in his coat and flesh and just overall. So we'll see and learn if he can successfully rate today. But Greg, Therapist is looking awfully tough here in the paddock.
And getting played like it too. 1-2 on the board right now. Each and every day you can play along on our show in the Belmont Showdown without risking any of your own money. You can go to naira.com/showdown. Enter your picks in the online contest and watch your name climb that leaderboard. We got a tie for the top right now. Showdown available every day of Belmont Park Live. How you guys doing?
Doing well. Do you ever play the Belmont Showdown?
We played it a little bit
At
last Saratoga. Yeah, we need to get into playing that again.
I hit the leaderboard once.
It's a really cool way to learn how to play if you're a newbie, to sort of like see where everything is and stuff like that and learn how to play. Like, very good template, and it's a very good way to win some prizes,
Without
too.
risking any of your own money. Absolutely. There it is. Again, Turf for Joe, Purple Dinosaur, tied for the top right now.
I always love the names. Like, obviously, you guys have known who watch us on the regular. Oatmeal is my favorite, but he's not in the top 10 today.
I thought you were Purple Dinosaur, Greg. Paul?
No, Oatmeal is my man.
It's Barney, right? All right, here we go. We got a good race coming up. Can Therapist get it done again here, cutting back in distance? Santo Antonio will kick things off for Nassau CC Stables. Rudy Rodriguez, Javier Castellano.
The Dam did win in the turf, but it's another Frost Giant trying the turf.
0 for 181, 121.
121, yeah.
Engineers reports. Michael Dubb, Monomoy Stables, the Elkstone Group, Rudy Rodriguez and David Cohen.
Horse tried the turf one time. It was going long. Wasn't an awful effort, but he was 50-1 that day. Rudy Rod usually is never 50-1.
Jose Lezcano on Siggy, owned and trained by Roy Lerman.
He ran okay last time, not well enough for Greg Wolf, but this is a tougher spot.
Collective Effort, trained by Ray Handel. We heard about this horse from Ray earlier in the show. A lot of thirds.
I think this horse is the main competition, maybe the favorite in here off his maiden win. This horse has never run badly in any turf race.
Manny Franco aboard the 8 Spectacular Kid. First time on turf last start and ran very good in that effort for Alejandro Meno.
Yeah, you're right. He's getting dismissed a tiny bit because of the connections. This horse is not impossible at all.
10 horse, Beach Access. Dylan Davis aboard for Leah Giramati.
Well, the blinkers went on this Son of Courageous Cat, and he has gotten better. He won an off-the-turf event, but his one turf effort was okay.
47-1. The 11, Belleville Spring, son of Triniberg for George Weaver. Hector Diaz Jr. rides.
His turf debut was sneaky okay, probably the best race he's ever run, and he does have some early speed.
12 horse, sent out by Sunrise Stables. Rudy Rodriguez trainee, a true giant with Junior Alvarado.
Another Frost Giant going to get on the turf for the first time, so we'll see if it's 0 for 122. And you're wondering why Rudy Rod's putting him on the turf. And Rudy Rod has all these Frost Giants. He rode Frost Giant to his biggest win.
Yeah. Binkster, first time on the turf here by Bluegrass Cat for David Canizzo.
Yeah, Binkster for Carmouche and Canizzo. What does that mean? Usually speed, but I just don't see it here at 37-1.
And the big favorite, Therapist, 4-time winner, won the first 3 starts of his career, including 2 stakes, one of them here at Belmont.
Sometimes you just have a horse that might be better than its competition, and that might be Therapist.
1-2, and the huge favorite here, the only question mark, that outside post. But again, a couple of scratches near now, only going to have to break from post 11. Let's go downstairs to Maggie for more.
And I'm joined here by Roy Lerman, who sends out number 5, Siggy. And Roy, a horse, a little light on experience, but he's won 2 in his career so far. Talk a little bit about his last race where he kind of tracked the pace. Turning back now, do you think he'll be forwardly placed, or is he going to be able to rate successfully?
Well, I think he has the 2 advantages. One is he has enough speed to be on the pace. And if there's a little too much pace, I think he could close into the pace. And that's why the 7/8 seems okay for him. Yeah.
He seems like a pretty relaxed kind of guy, too. Is he pretty easy with his rider?
Yeah, he's very easy. He'll do whatever you want. He doesn't have any experience. It's a funny thing, when he was a baby, he was a very difficult horse. Oh, really? Yeah, and he just mellowed out, and he's sort of serious about racing. It appears that way anyway.
It looks his way by his form as well. Roy, best of luck here.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys.
Siggy on the board, 8-1 right now. Just career start number 3 for this son of Freud, and he's run very good in both, but tackling, obviously, a very tough customer and Therapist today. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more next.
Bayern turning for home in front. Coast of New York on the outside. California Chrome is third. Shared Belief laboring back there in 5th. 1 furlong to run. Bayern, Coast of New York. California Chrome on the outside. The 3 of them come to the wire. Bayern, Coast of New York. California Chrome. Here's the finish. Bayern holds on.
And they're off in New York. the premier state-bred program in the United States. When you own a New York bred, your horse can run for more than $44 million in purses restricted to registered New York breds. And the New York program pays awards to breeders, owners, and stallion owners when their New York breds finish first, second, or third at New York tracks. We have the quality.
Audible, no doubt about it.
You have the opportunity. New York breds, get with the program. The best program.
Back on Belmont Park Live, New York Stallion Stakes Series. Spectacular bid division coming up. The 11th Triple Crown winner. It's a race named after him. 26 for 30 in his career.
He lost the Belmont Stakes.
I'm sorry?
You just say he was the 11th Triple Crown winner.
I'm sorry. Did I just say that?
It's been a long day and a lot of bugs up on the set.
It's been a long afternoon. I apologize. Horse of the Year is a 4-year-old. And he did, I know this is true, he did 8 times matched or set a track record.
I believe that he won his last 24 starts that were under a mile and a half. He lost the Jockey Club Gold Cup to Affirmed, and he lost the Belmont Stakes to Coastal in a mile and a half and won every other race. There's an argument, at least since Dr. Fager, he's the best horse that's lived.
Oh, Coastal. You forget how good he was, Coastal.
Killer.
But he dealt
That's
with
impressive. That's pretty impressive.
Well, he crushed Coastal in the Marlboro Cup
Yeah,
later that year.
So look at the 7 in here. 9-1 on collective effort. He took 11 starts to finally break through, but he did so in a big way, and now he's going to cut back to 7 furlongs from a mile and a 16th.
And he had the run of his last race, being able to control in the front end, but he still ran well. And if you look at his record, he's just that 1 for 11. But his record on the turf is stronger, where he's 1 for 4 with a second and 2/3. And Paul, I say he's run well every time on the turf. Not therapist well, but well enough to be the second likeliest winner.
And the blinkers, moved him up a couple points. He got the job done. He was well clear, put him on the front end, a horse that was a little snake bitten from the winner's circle. So what do? You put him on the front end. That's why I like him. I think you repeat that effort. You try to put him on the front end, try to take this field gate to wire. You're going to have to deal with Siggy the 5. But listen, they're all going to have to deal with therapists at 1 to 2. And I think a lot of pick 5 tickets are going to be hanging in the balance. And pick 5 tickets that are going to be worth a lot of money. And if you have many, you're rooting against this 13.
I'm rooting for the 8 Spectacular Kid, who I actually throw in my pick 4.
Short price on Therapist. Irad Ortiz Jr. been the regular rider each of the last 4 starts, including that Penn Mile last time out. Now going to go a little bit shorter.
You think Therapist
he was ranking the Penn Mile. He really had a terrible trip in there, and it wasn't Irad Ortiz's fault. He just could never get him in a good spot. He was wide the whole way, too close to the pace. I think this elongated sprint at 7 furlongs, the long run down the backstretch, give him a much better chance to settle. And I know he's a heavy favorite, but if he runs his race in here, Therapist, he's just too much horse for these.
You agree, Greg?
It's been a good show this afternoon with you two. We are all set. Spectacular bid division of the New York Stallion Stakes Series. There is Therapist, the 1 to beat by a mile. He will load last at 1 to 2 on the board. Let's set it upstairs. What were we going to say?
I was going to say, you know what you're going to need if he wins.
Oh. We'll talk about that afterwards. Larry Colmus, the voice of the Triple Crown, with the call.
They're all in line. They're off. And it is Belleville Spring who goes out to the early lead. Siggy's got some speed. Santo Antonio on the inside is going up in company with Binkster, and the four of them with early foot here. Spectacular Kid is just off of them, and then comes Engineer's Report on the inside. They're followed by Therapist, who's racing about 8 lengths off the lead. And then comes A True Giant, Collective Effort to the inside, and Beach Access at the back after a 22 flat quarter. The field making their way into the far turn here, and it is Belleville Spring who kicks on to lead by 4 lengths, with Siggy up running in second position. Spectacular Kid on the outside is third. And then it's Santo Antonio down toward the inside. Right up there, too, is Binkster as they make their way around the turn. Therapist has about 8 lengths to make up as Belleville Spring is just winging out here. Belleville Spring ran 44.34 for a half and turns for home with a big lead here, but Therapist is on the move and cutting into that gap with each and every stride. It's down to 3, it's down to 2, it's down to a length and a half, and also coming to your Spectacular Kid and Collective Effort. It is Therapist in front. In front by 2.5 lengths over Collective Effort. Spectacular Kid is third on the outside. Therapist comes home the winner here by 2 lengths on the wire. And that was Collective Effort, Spectacular Kid, and Santo Antonio in 121.07.
Therapist just too good for this group. Irad Ortiz Jr., Christophe Clement, Oak Bluff Stables, easy win.
And a great job by Irad Ortiz, dropping him back and easing him over and getting in a ground-saving position. So he was too wide around the turn. He didn't lose ground in here. He was the best horse, but he also got a very good ride, Paul.
No, he got a good ride. And let's give credit to the 7. The 7's by far the second best horse in here, and the 8. They both battled. They were well clear. Therapist was the winner, but the blinkers have clearly helped the 7, and the 8 is a real horse. I hate when people don't play the 8 because of connections. Well, listen, they know how to train horses. They ran a good race here.
I don't have a problem with the connections, and I don't want to be overly critical, but they're going to come and ride against the big boys. Get a New York rider.
I'm with you on that, on a New York rider, because
of course, would have won his last race if Manny Franco rode him, and he probably could have been second.
That's true. By the way, Antonio Santo held on, or Santo Antonio held on for 4th, and he was setting the pace, yeah.
Frost Giant finished 4th. Is that the first Frost Giant to hit the Super in how long? Turf race?
Yeah, right.
Probably first to hit the Super in a stakes race, right?
Greg, are you okay?
I am not okay. Therapist, though, is very much okay. What a performance. This is
a therapist,
nice
is what we're saying.
Horse. Yeah, I think I do at this
Should
point.
have singled him in the pick 5.
1-2 on Therapist. Oak Bluff Stables, Christophe Clement, Irad Ortiz Jr. Big time effort from this runner. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with prices, wrap up the show. There's Christophe giving the good news to the owners. We'll be back.
Kentucky Derby winner Orb was the leading freshman sale sire of weanlings, yearlings, and 2-year-olds. On the track, his runners have scored on both dirt and turf, including Orbelution, Stakes Performer Scrapper, and TDN Rising Star Explorer. In the sales ring, his progeny continue to sell well beyond his stud fee, including the $1 million co-sale topper at Saratoga. Classic winner, classic pedigree, classic results, or standing at Claiborne Farm.
Make Naira Bets your home for online horse racing and betting. Start earning your sign-up bonus right now. With Naira Bets, you can use our state-of-the-art website to bet on live horse racing at over 200 tracks around the world. Bet anywhere, anytime, using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Build your bankroll with our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now at NairaBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus now. Naira Bets, racing's best play.
Back on Belmont Park Live, and Therapist with a win. Irad Ortiz Jr., Christophe Clement, short numbered here, $3.10 for the win.
Congratulations to the son of Freud out of the Smart Strike mare, Lady Renaissance. How about Christophe? He bred half of this horse with Oak Bluff Stables.
How about those pants he's wearing in the winner's circle? Who dressed him today?
He knew he was going to win.
Those are horrifying.
Fashion faux pas.
He literally slipped out of the house before his wife Valerie
want.
saw what he was wearing.
Look at these numbers we've had in the Naira Bets late pick 5 this afternoon. Pool of 81,000, and that has resulted in, coming up in the last race, where you can watch on the Naira Now app, to the horse who was the morning line favorite. Actually, 2,600 of that horse, but there are some that are one ticket.
Again, I want to point to point to something that Andy said, because a lot of racetracks, when you see 12, 11, 13 on the turf, you throw them out. We saw Creasy win from the 12 hole. We saw Therapist win from the 13 hole, and Andy's basically telling you, don't worry about the post positions.
Let's go downstairs to Maggie for more.
Here with winning trainer Christophe Clement and Christophe Therapist. I just overheard you saying to Irad, keeping him with New York Bred Company after this win.
Why not? I mean, obviously, you know, he's been running all over between Gulfstream and Penn National. This was a nice race for him. Great for his mental. We'll see how he comes out of it, but, you know, it's foolish not to take advantage of the program.
It truly is. Congratulations here.
Thank you so much.
Okay, guys.
Again, you can watch race 10 on the Naira Now app. That was an important point you brought up, Paul, too, what Andy said. There's certain, on the Widener turf course, outside post does not matter. Or the inner turf course, because of where they start, especially sometimes, it is an issue.
And the
not on the Widener.
turns are much sharper. The inner turf course is a more speed-friendly course and very much favors horses that are able to save ground. The Widener, obviously, ideally, you'd like to save as much ground as possible, but it's not as big a deal on the Widener course.
No, listen, Therapist is probably the best horse that won, and Creasy had been competitive with those horses. So maybe the best two horses won, but what I'm trying to say is I'm the kind of guy that throws these horses out. Andy's telling me throwing them in, and we learned today.
I'd say Mentality was best, to be fair. Mentality.
Yeah, you might be.
I know she lost. She ran great.
Jose Ortiz, Creasy getting the win early in the Kupakoi's Joy, and Therapist in the spectacular bid. Another week in the books. We hope you enjoyed it. We are back on MSG Plus on Wednesday. We will see you then.